My name is Asia Rochelle, and I'm 14 years old. With my business, I'm doing hair. As of right now, I'm only doing braiding, and I do cornrows too. Like if a boy if they have a lot of hair and they really want to deal with it, I can braid it in the style they want or their design. And of like braiding, I'm learning how to do feed-in braids, which is like cornrows, but it's like added extension hair onto it. So my mom, she wanted me to do my sister's hair, but at that time, me braiding wasn't as good as I am now. So it was like she's my test doll. Like she was like a Barbie doll to me. So I was able to put braids on her hair to make sure it looked right. So after a while, my mom started seeing that I was getting better at it, and she was like, "Well, you should just start doing this." So then I started telling people, "Oh, hey, I do hair. Like I should do yours. Like I won't charge you right now because I just started." But I mean, as I got better, I started charging people. And so when I found out I could actually like do it, that's when everything changed. And then I started like I made a business card in this class and a flyer, and I promoted those, and people started texting me and asking when can I do the hair, and I told them how much I charge and what type of hair to get, and like if they wanted accessories, I could put it on their braids or something like that. It's fun because I actually like doing hair, and I'm actually like into it instead of like some people, they just do it to do it, but like not like me.
And talk a little bit about selling. Some of you have already done a lot of selling. Most of you have never sold. You've been a buyer. Extremely different to be a seller than a buyer. As a seller, you're putting yourself out there. So I don't want to belabor this, but the first thing I'd say about selling, you sort of soliciting your services, is that you're going to get this thing called rejection. Not everybody's going to buy your product or service. I mean, for sure. And in your business, there's going to be a ratio between, sort of sales and tries, right? It's just like playing baseball. Every time you get up to bat, you might get a hit, but you're not going to get a hit every single time. You'd be lucky if you get a hit 1 out of 3. Sales is that way. So the first thing I'd say is be prepared for rejection. Not everybody you sell to is going to buy your product or service. It may take you 20 people to actually get one sale. So that's really important. I don't want to leave that out. But anyway, your first sale is a big deal. Until you get your first dollar of sales, it's a theory. It's sort of like when I was a kid, my trade when I was a kid was football. It was like hugely important to me between 8 and 18. You go play football, which is a little dangerous, unfortunately. But when I was, when you're playing football, until you get hit, someone hits you, it's not real. Same thing with business. Until you get a sale, until someone gives you cash or writes you a check or whatever, gets you money, it's not real. So focus on sales. Inexperienced entrepreneurs, who are usually overeducated, by the way, make it complicated. They're doing business plans and they're doing market research and all. For a business you start in, as a young person, you usually don't need a lot of that. You got to get to money. So your first sale is a big deal. Get to that, get to money. Second point, sales is a learned skill. You got to do it over and over again. I think I need to mention this. I need to be redundant. Most people are not born salespeople. They wake up and they're born salespeople. They might have some skill. It's kind of like athletics. You get a little skill, but you work at it. So remember, sales is a learned skill. When you're talking to prospects, you're going door to door, you're presenting your product or services, you're going to get better the more you do it. Same thing as public speaking. It really is true. I've been doing this stuff for years, and I'm still not good, so don't feel bad. But on a serious note, literally, sales is something you just keep doing it. Get ready for rejection. Very important that you face rejection early on in life. You don't want to be someone who's not taking the shot, right? And a lot of people get discouraged about being rejected, someone saying no to them. I promise you, if you do it enough, you will develop a thick skin and it won't be a big deal. In sales, listen, don't talk. Ask questions, don't talk at people. There are introverts and there are extroverts. And what I've noticed is all the extroverts want to say that they're introverts, but they're extroverts. And extroverts are always broadcasting. They're doing what I'm doing to you right now. I'm talking at you, talking to you. I can't ask you a question, right? We haven't developed that technology yet. I can't ask you a question and get information back, so I'm broadcasting at you. This, by the very nature of what I'm doing, is ineffective communication because it's one way. I'm talking to you. But it's the only way we can do this. But when you're selling, you want to be asking people questions about themselves or about what they want done. Like in the previous example about maybe a lawn service or pooper scooping or whatever it is, you might say, how often do you want me to come by and clean up your yard? Well, and they'll answer, I don't know, maybe once a month. Like, okay, once a month, that sounds good. And where do you want me to put the debris? Or where do you want me to, well, you know, maybe you can wrap it in a plastic bag and put it in the recycle bin or something like that. And is there anybody else, do you need to be here when I'm in your property? You know, but if you see what I mean, like you're learning to ask questions and solicit information from people so that you can take your product and make it suitable for them. And if you really want to be sharp and really super impressed adults, because nobody listens to adults, by the way. Nobody listens to anybody. You can bring a little pad and take notes. There's nothing so empowering when you're talking to somebody, and as you're asking them questions, you're writing their notes down. And then they realize, wow, this person's professional and they actually care about what I'm saying. But listen, don't talk. And for you extroverts out there, you got to learn to be an introvert, okay? You got to learn to not broadcast, but to listen. There is a strange part of a sales process. I'm not going to do a good job on this one. But there's a strange part of a sales process where you got to ask for the sale. You know, it might not come to you. So if you are going door to door, you're in a meeting with somebody, prospect, and you're talking to the potential customer, and you're asking questions, they might say to you, I just want to get the product. It sounds great. You give them a price, and they say, wow, that's great. I'll take it. And at that point, you made the sale. You stop talking, you close it, and you leave. It's amazing how many adults keep talking beyond the sale. I'm like, no, you got the sale, stop, all right? If you understand what I mean, just you got the sale, leave, right? But often, you'll be asking questions, you're talking to people, you might be describing about what your product or service does. You'll be asking them questions so you get them talking. They've got to be talking. They should be talking at least half the time. Really, think about that. Even though you're presenting, they should be talking half the time. You'll learn to do that over time. But anyway, they might not say, okay, I'm ready to buy. They might not just make it super easy for you. So at some point toward the end of your presentation, you might say, would you be interested in this? And that's asking for the sale. Again, even adults who are salespeople often don't ask for the sale. Or they ask for the sale in the first minute, which is inappropriate, right? You didn't even get to know the person. But you'll kind of develop a feel for the ball as to when to ask for the sale. And you say, well, would you like it, And they might say, I need to talk to my husband, I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to my dog. We don't know. And that could be a brush off or it could be real. But you do have to ask for the sale if they don't volunteer being a buyer earlier. And lastly, after you've done the work, this is what I like to do. You've done the work, you picked up the dog poop, you cut the lawn, you put the mulch down. I know whatever you do. You painted their wall, you painted their mailbox, whatever business you have. I'll always go and say, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, are you happy with what I did? Yes, I'm very happy. Great. Is there anything I can improve? No, it's terrific. Great. Would you mind referring me over to your friends? And if they're happy, they'll say, of course I would. I'd be happy to do that. And that's the way you start to build word-of-mouth advertising, okay? Very important. Social media is word-of-mouth advertising on steroids, right? That's really what it is. It's the ability to get the word out there. So you ask for referrals. You ask customers to refer you to other people if they're happy, because that's the best way to build your business.